Hi, what's up? What to do, so fam? Apologies for being a couple minutes late. I had to go to the bathroom. Maybe it's TMI. I don't know. But usually before I get on any sort of reading with people and I have to pee all the time, it's like a signifier that the client that I'm seeing, usually it's like a first time reading, are really nervous. Which is kind of funny to me because who is joining in that's a little bit nervous? I don't know. Anyways, hi. Hello. For those of you who may not know, I am Kat Nicoletta Monroe. I am a natural born psychic medium, meaning I've been seeing dead people forever. Okay. And I've had this increased psychic ability to sense people's emotional state, sometimes even their thought patterns. And yeah, as my life kind of progressed and trauma was slightly instilled, I increased my hypervigilance. I eventually dove into a lot of self realization work, and especially as far as my psychicness is concerned. I really worked to understand what it is and how it is that I do. And here I am now, being able to share my gifts with you. And the intention is always to kind of give you all therapy for the soul, if you will. Okay. One of my favorite compliments to ever receive is people saying that I really see them, you know? And I think that we all deserve that type of experience. So I'm humbled and honored to be able to share it with y'all today. It is Sunday. Sunday. We've kind of changed things up slightly from last week. I had initially planned for this whole thing to be for Saturdays, but then I got some lovely Soul Fan members that were like, I will never be able to make it on Saturdays. So I was like, shoot, what can we do? So we're going to alternate weekends now, okay, between Saturdays and Sundays. It is now the week for the Sunday. I think that's pretty obvious. So what else can I say? I don't know. I'm hoping that this time is okay. It's a little bit earlier than I have been going live on Saturdays for. So let me know if maybe you guys want a later time or something, because I'm seeing not too many people in here just yet. Y'all are still waking up, I assume. Let me know in the chat if you're open to it, where it is that you are tuning in the world. I am in Europe, specifically in Poland. So it is 7:06 p.m. my time right now. It is a nice evening. The sun already set. Wow. It's definitely fall, I'll tell you that much. But I do it like this because I know most of the people who tune in are in Canada and America. But I could be wrong. So y'all let me know. What can I tell y'all before more people start tuning in? I don't know. Listen, if you want your energy read, for those whom are already in here, feel free to chat. I need your first name, please, because that is one thing that I require to connect with a respectful soul. If you do not want to use your real name, you're free to use a nickname, okay? But something that is personal to identify you. You know what I'm saying? What else can I tell y'all? It's Eclipse week. On, I think, is it a Wednesday? It's a Wednesday or Thursday, depending where you're at in the world and timing and shit. We do have the eclipse in Libra happening. I believe it's a solar eclipse this time, right? I don't know. I'm not an astrologer. I never claim myself to be. But nevertheless, I find it really interesting when my intuitive, I guess, awareness and insight matches up with the astrology at the time. I think it's lovely. And collectively, there's a lot of shit that's going down in the world, okay? Figuratively, metaphorically, literally. So So wherever it is that I can offer y'all insights, I would be happy to do that. Um, I am noticing between all of my clients, there have been some quite drastic endings, or like grand realizations, right? And where there are endings, there are always new beginnings. That is something that I always tend to push the awareness towards. When it comes down to it, I mean, this is quite a karmic year for many of us, for the collective. But when I say many of us, I mean those whom are choosing to be more aware of their circumstances, of their karmic path, and all of that. And when I talk about karma, I'm talking about a repeated lesson that comes around time and time again, lifetime after lifetime, if you are the type to believe in reincarnations, and it stops repeating once you choose to show up with changed behavior and you break that pattern. And that changed behavior must be consistent. So, although 2024, numerologically speaking, is quite a karmic year, people typically equate it with the number 8, meaning abundance, right? But we got to work towards that abundance, especially because 8, the number 8, is who is it Saturn? Yeah. Number 8 is a Saturn number. And Daddy Saturn likes us to put in the work and the consistency before we really get that payout, right? So sometimes things become a lot more difficult than we perhaps maybe hope, right? Like it requires a lot more from us to change narratives, to change realities and perspectives, to jump timelines and shit, right? But taking the woo woo outside of it with any sort of great and extraordinary change requires extraordinary action, okay? Because oftentimes we get caught up so much in the delulu, like everyone was saying, especially in 2023, delulu is the salulu. Not this year, honey. Delulu can only take you so far if it is never met with the appropriate action that actually matches the delulu. So there's dreaming, there's brainstorming, and then there is taking action, right? Sometimes we tend to want to overly prepare. Oh boy, that over preparation and expectation of ourselves actually ends up being self-sabotage. But you would never equate it as such, right? But I suppose what I'm saying here is despite it being eclipse season still, even though in the next couple of days we do have the ending thereof with that solar eclipse. I think there's like another eclipse or something later on, no, this year? I don't know. Y'all can let me know. A lot of people, psychics, astrologers, etc., will tell you do not do anything. I cannot say that I was one of those people this eclipse season. The more that my clients and myself, okay, because the action that I give is the action that I have trialed, okay? I never give y'all advice that I haven't at least done myself in one form or a fashion. That's also kind of how I know like what will work for some versus the others, right? But nevertheless, what I'm saying here is the more that you're doing right now, the more you're pursuing, the more you're actually going to gain those results. Okay. It's not necessarily about starting absolutely brand new projects, but rather sticking to your plan, your resolutions, your hopes, your dreams, and actually doing the damn thing, to fall into the mainstream type of advice that is only harboring your stagnation for your betterment because it's really hard, you're just going to continue to stay stuck. Of course, action outside of your comfort zone is uncomfortable. But so is staying where it is that you're at, where you no longer require being. If you feel it in your heart, in your minds, in your soul, you got to go. Why is you standing still? Any action is better than no action at all. Okay. So I'm going to leave that there. We have Adriana. Hi, babes. Canada, 1 p.m. Okay, yeah, so that's more Ontario based, yeah. All right, if possible, whatever comes up, or if specific relationship help after all these realizations and feelings like I don't even want to talk to a significant other. Okay, okay, okay. Let me write your name. Ooh, before tarot. I I don't know why I do this. I set up all of these decks right in front of me for me to use, and then I always get pulled to decks for y'all that are like not even out of like the chosen ones. Like it's so ridiculous. Anyways, we're using the before tarot for you. So if anyone who's like really super familiar with tarot, this is the original tarot, if you will, like the Rider Waite, but it's actually the few moments before the image that you see on the original tarot. So it's kind of cute. I also have the after tarot because why just get one when you can get all of the decks, right? If this here isn't obvious enough, I'm kind of obsessed with books and tarot and oracle and all of that. I love it, love it, love it. That's enough talking. That's enough talking from me. Let's get to you. Okay, Adri. Adriana. Okay, so I just heard both. Okay, we're gonna do both for you here, the before and the after. Okay, apologies for the delay. Let me just get everything out in front of me here. Whoop. Whoop. Is it the sound of the police? Not relevant to your energy here. Oof. This card wants my attention. What are you? All right. So a lot of this has definitely to do with money, okay? Because I'm seeing a lot of pentacles out here. So let's start off with the before, okay? What brought you to this situation? Perhaps maybe even like before these realizations or some shit, right? We have the Page of Pentacles with the Emperor. So with your significant other, lots of go-to attitude, you know, lots of ambition, lots of will and desire to pursue, to build, right? Like this Emperor is very young in nature, even though he's got like a gray beard, but hey. Page of Pentacles, one that actually planted a lot of those seeds before, right? There was a lot of action oriented, right? It was based on that whole overview before I started channeling your messages here. Action was taken. And there might have been a bit of a, you overgave a lot of your own energies and your significant other drank it up, but at the same time it was requited, it was reciprocated. I'm just going to put my finger here just in case it's not YouTube approved. So with the Lover's card here, you see Adam reaching out to Eve to lift her up, right? Like he's giving her his hand while still drinking out of your cup. So you both poured into each other is essentially what I am. Are you naked? Is essentially what I am saying here, right? You filled up each other's cups. There was a nice reciprocity. Not perfect. No relationship ever is, no matter what it is that people ever want to claim, but there was at least something. I'll take care of this, you take care of this. And now you're like, why am I taking care of everything? Hold up. Because here's the thing. I can understand where you feel like you don't even want to talk to this person because we have the 8 of Cups in reverse now. You've overpoured so much that you've kind of you capped him. You're like, And now we have the Ace of Pentacles to the King of Wands, right? Okay. Sometimes, oftentimes, to those whom care and he does care about you. Okay. Let's remove that narrative out of your beautiful brain. Sometimes when we cap people and we stop doing things for them, it forces them to do it themselves or to go elsewhere and obtain that lack of energy, you know? So with the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Wands, I would say that you pulling back your energy right now and not over pouring into him, because again, you've been capped. He's no longer drinking from your fountain. Okay, you're saying unless and when I see this type of behavior again, because it had already once existed. So you're like, yo, where's my emperor at? Like, why are you sleeping? Like, what's happening here? You know, you've capped that. It is now requiring him to show up, right? So we have the Ace of Pentacles with the King of Wands coming up, right? This is now requiring him to kind of like dig up his own, like to dig out his shit. Sorry, I don't know why this is coming through, but like I'm really getting drawn to this beetle here, you know? It's in the hands, and like oftentimes like dung beetles and stuff, or like beetles in general, they kind of like roll up poop and like take it in order to like, you know, I guess feed off of it. They're cleaning up house, okay, in a way. With the Wheel of Fortune coming out here, definitely there's been some sort of like a U-turn. There has been a change of events, a change of energy. So although I'm sensing some doubt on your end, even though there's a lot of frustration there, that's like kind of countering that doubt, because you're like, no, like I love it. Anyways, I have a lot of fire in my chart, so like I get it. Pulling back your energy is definitely having you feel kind of waves of doubt, and like as much as your frustration is there, your empathy is there too, right? Standing your ground is the best thing that you can do right now, because it is requiring him to show up, to at least have the choice to show up. Let's put it in that perspective. Okay. I will say that when it comes to your person, definitely going through a lot mentally. Okay, like you pulling your energy back is definitely kind of giving a little bit more of that, dare I say, woe is me type of a like a, yeah. And you're letting him, which is good, because again, when you stop over giving and you let people sit in their shit for a hot second, even though it hurts to watch sometimes, you know, it's required, because it's when we allow ourselves to actually recognize our faults and where it is that we need to change, right? This isn't at all me criticizing in any ways. It's actually going to motivate him to pick it up again, right? We have the Seven of Coins coming back up, right? This is where we start. Ooh, my nose really, I have to sneeze. Okay, that was a really quiet sneeze. Well, that's really good. Seven of Coins. It's going to require him to, you know, have himself a pity party at first, you know, little wah, 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 and then start picking up the pace. So I think overall, like your general here comes around to minimizing your feelings of guilt on the overall situation, Adriana, okay? Because no guilt required. Let him go through whatever it is that he's got to go through. I know it's tough to witness and all of that. Good fortunes are coming ahead. Okay, we do have the Wheel of Fortune, but like shit, like it's not the Tower. You know what I'm saying? So it's still a divinely guided redirection that you yourself have enforced. But it's for the betterment of everyone, I would say. So I don't know. I really hope that this helped. I feel like it kind of generalized your overall situation here. But the point that I want to say here is it is working out. And sometimes you got to hit a low before you can break through and get high. You know what I'm saying? So I do hope that helped. I do. But yeah, I mean, just based even on my overview earlier, like sometime, okay, hold on. Before I let you go entirely, I have the King of Pentacles with the Five of Wands out here. There's definitely a lot of like internal, uh, not you, him. Like he's fighting himself on what it is that he's capable of, right? So like I don't think that he currently believes himself to be that emperor again. Okay. I think he's kind of like fallen off the throne, if you will. And now you are creating an internal turmoil by taking away your contribution over contribution, because you're still there. I can sense that you're still a willing participant in this situation, but you're like, you do it now. Is your responsibility. Pick up your fucking slack. If you want to meet me halfway, like, why am I constantly meeting you at 90%? Like, at one point or another, you're kind of like, respectfully, what are you doing for me? Like, are we a team here, or am I like a solo player? What's happening? And this is causing a wake up call in him. It's definitely rattling that ego. Okay. And it's a good thing. We all need to have our egos rattled once in a while. We need to have uncomfortable situations. We need to be placed into uncomfortable situations so we can break out of them through free will, or we are doomed to repeat the same shit. But it seems as though, at least in your scenario, a more positive outcome is currently forecasted. Okay. But that part's up to him. I'm not one of those fortune tellers that will tell you 1,000% what exactly is going to happen. I read the energies of the moment that I'm reading them. And right now is good, even though it's really difficult. So shit, have at it. I don't know. I do hope that helped though, love. Hello, Spiritual Awakenings, Scorpio. Hi. Truth lies beneath. What's up? What's up, babes? Woo! I'm so happy to see you guys here. Is it too early? Let's be honest with me, guys, because like we have a lot less people in here than we typically do on Saturdays, which is fine. I'm just curious if maybe I'm doing this a little too early and everyone's sleeping in, as they probably should on Sundays, I would hope, but let me know. It helped a lot. Thank you. It does hurt when I need to watch him going through his shit from a distance, but I know it's needed. Yeah, it is needed. It is. It is. It like any normal person. Well, no, like any empath. We want to take the pain away and the discomfort away from our loved ones, but sometimes we learn the hard way that overgiving is actually doing more damage onto the other person too. You know, and that's not talking about like self-sufficiency being the only way through, but there's independence, then there's dependence, and then there is interdependence, where we're capable to be there for ourselves whilst also finding a balance in receiving what it is that is required to fill in any gaps as needed through others and loved ones and such, right? So you're holding your ground, and I don't think it's too early, but it was worth a try. I think so too. If anything, I'll just do it a little bit later. I mentioned I'm in Poland, right? So I don't mind doing this really late, but I would prefer not doing it too late, but then again, I also accept readings at like midnight sometimes. So hell, whatever works for y'all. But anyone who's meant to be here is. So that's all I know. I'm glad it helped. Turns out, by the way, I don't know if maybe YouTube just like needed a minute to like figure itself out, but now the chats are populating in the videos afterwards. So that's really great. But if you do feel open to it, you don't have to. If you can comment down below and just type that it resonated. You could otherwise just leave the chat be as is, just so future onlookers who tune into the live after can also be like, hey, this blue hair girl actually kind of knows what she's doing, Not that my intention is like to prove myself or anything, but it is always good for new people who stumble across my channel to kind of have, a little bit of whatever it is that they need. who would like the reading next? I'm taking my time with everyone right now, it seems, considering there's less people. So I don't feel like I need to like rush, rush, rush with everyone. So y'all already know all I need is your first name in the chat, please, followed by the word general if you just want me to pull your energy as is, or a specific question. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about general shit and just eventually exit. Because that's okay. I mean, it's not an L really, it's just slow. Slow. No, you're awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How have you guys been doing? I know it's been a rough going. This year I think it's not what a lot of people expected. And this is kind of where I'm going to throw a respectful jab into the more, you know, the astrologers, like the pop astrologers. I'm not saying all astrologers by any means, but the type of astrologers that are really like popular and stuff, right? They tend to only overshare the positive things, right? Like only ever good things, and like they have a large following because, you know, people want to embrace more of the positivity, and that positivity still exists. But if you overpromise shit and not actually discuss the polarity and the duality of this reality, people kind of feel as though they're doing something wrong themselves, because it's like, well, this was supposed to be my year of absolute happiness and abundance and all of that, and yet I am struggling, or I'm really depressed, or I'm experiencing more anxieties than usual. And then it's like they think like they're doing something freaking wrong, you know, which is absolutely not true. It's just part of the process to actually obtain that abundance that so many people kind of skim past, you know. I'm the type that likes to look at both things, but maybe that's just a Libra in me. I don't know. Maybe. But we got to keep it honest over here, you know, and I will never sugarcoat too much. And I hope I said that as respectfully as possible, because there are some amazing astrologers out there. I just don't, I don't like what I see all the time online and all of these like popular kind of things. Like when Pluto shifted into Aquarius the first time, they were like, all cardinal signs, we're done. We're never going to experience. And I'm just like sitting here going like, okay, so we're just going to completely forget that like Pluto's still going to jump into Capricorn for several weeks later. And that it's not just the last decans of cardinal signs that are going to be affected. Like, look at the worldwide shit that is happening right now since Pluto shifted into Capricorn. Again, for the last time now, until I think like November 15th or something. I don't know. You know, like let's stop lying. Please never sugarcoat. I love their authenticity. Hell yeah. It takes one to know one. Authenticity, by the way, is 4,000 times more powerful than the vibration of love. Fun fact. There was a study, I don't know it by heart, but if you would like me to, I can always drop it in the description box below. Actually, I'm going to do that anyways, just in case. But there was a study that they took like X amount of people in, and they did their whole, I don't know, scientific measuring of emotions and such. And authenticity, the ability to believe and speak the truth, 4,000 times more powerful than love. And we always, especially in the spiritual community and such, like we're always like, love is the most powerful frequency. But authenticity is, in a way, the strongest form of love, because it requires self-love and the ability to take off your mask. Like, it is your raw, most, like, yourself. It's you. Wow, I never knew that. Yeah, you know, I learned that recently myself too. So who would have freaking thunk? But it's really beautiful. I love what science is doing lately, with like the spiritual, psychic, quantum kind of a realm. I did predict Once Upon a World predictions video. I posted that up like 7 months ago on my other channel, K&M Witchery, not readings by K&M Witchery, but just K&M Witchery. I popped an eye vessel when I was creating that video because it was just so overwhelming, and I was a scaredy cat. I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm a lot less scared because I worked through a lot of authenticity blocks this past summer and shit too. But not about me. Excuse me. Classy. I had predicted that there's going to be a lot of really cool correlations with autism and psychic abilities. And it's not exactly taking that toll just yet, but there are some really cool findings as far as like the quantum fields and learning that there's like different realms that we're able to tap into and such too, that it's not all just crazy woo woo. There are actually some people, myself included, not only, that are actually capable to obtain information that is outside of this room. So I think that's pretty freaking cool, right? There's a little psychic in all of us. So I'm happy to help y'all tap into that personal power some more too. It's like one of the favorite things that I freaking do. 100% right. Damn right. It's really nice to meet you, by the way. I don't believe we've ever met. So hello, Spiritual Awakening Scorpio. That's a mouthful. So what else is up, guys? Is there anything general that you want me to speak about, if not like individuals' energy? Because it doesn't seem like anyone here wants their actual energy read. My name is Tom. Hello. Aw, thank you, Tom. I'm happy to return the favor there. Do you have a lot of postings and such for yourself as well? You have a really cool energy there, Tom. Yay. I appreciate you. I do. I love growing the Soul Fam. It's great. It's been a slow rise for me, I guess, but it's because I do my best to align with the vibration of authenticity, always, 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 even since I was younger, which definitely had some problems, but problems as in like rejections and misunderstandings and all of that. But I'm thankful that I never really lost that. And it takes a while when those of us whom operate in such a vibration to actually align with people who are ready to receive it, because I do trigger people too, as I was kind of just saying. So not everyone can handle it, which is okay. You know, I'm not for everyone, and that's good, because I'm here for like the 0.0001% of the soul fam, the awakened, you know, and all of that woo-woo talk. I have a question. Why are all mostly spiritual people single? I think it's based on exactly what it is that I just said. Authenticity demands respect. There is a no bullshit clause. I would say, based on my own personal experiences only, really. I've been single for many years. I've also been celibate for many years. Personal choice. Intimidation. You know, I think that like once people kind of, I'm speaking from my own personal experience here, right? I can't speak for all single spiritual people because that would be silly. But speaking for myself, yeah, eventually you kind of learn that you can't really bullshit me. And especially since I've like really grown with my abilities and my confidence within myself, and like, you know, just my ness, I stand 10 toes down in all dimensions that I'm capable of tapping into. And people can no longer bullshit me. They can't abuse me. They can't lie to me. I see through it. Sometimes I play dumb. I'm a Libra, so that's kind of, you know, devil's advocate here. Like, I'm just like, okay, if I play stupid, how long are you gonna keep this act up? I'm curious. Okay, no problem. Like, you know what I mean? But eventually the truth always comes out. And I think it's just also the intimidation clause kind of reflects so much of their own inadequacies, or at least their own perceived inadequacies, because those whom are very spiritually heightened have done the shadow work, right? We have addressed those parts of ourselves that so many people in the collective have neglected or have avoided or just, have been in complete denial of or never were aware of it. And what I'm really liking this year is that more people are taking prominence in things like therapy and in discovering things like that. I think many people have been kind of forced into situations too to really delve deep into their shadows and their darkness and shit to like really confront that. But when you come across someone who is very uh, spiritually grounded in the human experience, right? Because we may be souls having a human experience, but it's the human experience that allows for the soulful revolution to take place, right? A lot of words, but if you get it, you get it. And not a lot of people can handle it. Not a lot of people are ready for it. A lot of people choose to avoid it, neglect it, and I think that just it's too much for them, and that's okay. I think there's very few of us whom are required to do a lot of this work on a grand realm, and sometimes less entanglement of energies, the better. That's a lot of the reason why I choose to be celibate myself too, because I don't want anyone to like mess up my mojo unless I know that they can really provide more than they can take. So I keep myself really well protected. But yeah, that's just my general observation here. A lot of strongly psychic spiritual people are sitting here going like, yo, am I like doomed and destined to be alone? No, we're just meant for connection and love in a different way. Welcome to the age of Aquarius, is what I like to say. Which is a lot of the thing too. Like I equate myself as a divine feminine. I'm not lost in the over romanticization of twin flames, for example. But that was hot. Well put. You're welcome. Thank you, by the way. But I really focus on self, and uncovering that balance within yourself because we're all made up of yin and yang. And if you are one of those people who are like, feminine and masculine energies don't exist, I welcome you to look up things like traditional Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic medicine and approaches and shit, right? I think that's a more Indian approach. Shit, like there's philosophies beyond our current societal cultural understanding, especially like the westernized versions, that we like, come on, dude, like this research is great. It doesn't take that much. I mean, I fucking fall down rabbit holes all the time personally, but I enjoy this whole spiritual thing. It's more than just it's just who I am. I don't know. But yeah, hopefully I was able to answer that really well for beyond just yourself, Tom, but for anyone else tuning in too. Yeah. I enjoy you guys getting to know me a little bit more too. This is different. This is different. On Saturdays, y'all put me to work. And on Sunday, we're just like chilling. You just want to hear me ramble on? That's crazy. Crazy. Can you show love while you're setting boundaries? I'm trying to figure this out. Giving hugs and kisses when setting boundaries feels weird. Not sure if this is making any sense. LOL, just a question. Yes, it is making sense. It depends. Okay, what type of boundaries? You don't have to answer this question, but if you're making a boundary of like physical contact and then you're going out of the way and giving physical contact, that's confusing. Boundaries are for yourself. Okay. Boundaries are so much more about how it is that we choose to react to people's disrespect or overstepping of any sort of lines and such. We implement those boundaries. A boundary isn't expecting somebody else to follow what it is that you've just randomly, at least in their eyes, decided this is how it's going to be from now on. You have to also show up with the changed behavior that also like matches the boundary that you are setting place. Boundaries are personal. Whatever happens after, if that boundary is consistently being crossed, then there is a consequence that likely has been already discussed. It could be in a form of ultimatum, or it could just be in a complete like removal of your energy entirely, right? That you respect, right? So we're going to take this a step further. Say we're talking about no contact. Okay. When people go no contact with people, that person is free to message you anytime they want. You think that you saying you're never going to contact me again, we're going to go no contact, it's for you to not respond, to remove yourself, to not fall into those little like, I'm just going to say hello and see how they're doing because I miss them. Like, then it's not no contact anymore. You broke no contact. You broke your boundaries. We have to enforce the boundaries. Those boundaries are likely going to get poked and pronged because people have already been trained, for lack of better words, to overstep those boundaries because you've allowed it at one point or another. You have accepted this type of behavior and treatment. And so when you set a boundary and you say, hey, I'm no longer going to do this thing for you, that person is still likely going to ask you for it or even expect it from you. That is where you come in and say, hey, remember that conversation we had the other day when I said I'm stopping? Yeah, I'm not doing that right now. So I recommend you could do it yourself now. If that's a problem, then we're going to have a completely different discussion here. Because now we're not aligned anymore. You know, it's about you keeping those boundaries. Boundaries are personal. Stop expecting other people to just accept your new rules and regulations if you are unwilling to do the difficult work to abide by that new changed behavior that you are requesting at this moment. Okay. It has to always start from us, dude. Change always personal. Always, always, always. I'm just trying to process it all now. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely come back. I keep these lives up for public consumption later on. So I guess I'm just going to, I don't know, I'm going to, what's the word that I'm looking for? Timestamp it differently because I've only done one reading for someone. So that's fine. But we're like 43 minutes in here. So I just want to make sure that no one gets kind of forgotten here. But any other general questions or readings or whatever you guys want to do? Stay hydrated, by the way, with the solar eclipse coming up. Or just in general, just drink your water, okay? And your electrolytes. Gotcha. I hope that helped. I know. The accountability clause at K&M Witchery. How annoying. I swear, so many times people come to me and they're like, I really want to have this change, or like, you know, my partner this and my circumstances this, my job that. And I'm sitting here going like, well, what are you doing about it? Like, hello? But like I said earlier, it's personal. You gotta do the work yourself. You gotta find the balance within yourself. And it's okay to change. And it's also okay to switch. Like, you can change who you are at any minute of any day. You really can. I went vegetarian in an afternoon. Never touched meat again, except on accident. I ate meat on accident when someone accidentally, like at a restaurant, like gave me like beef instead of my veggie. And I was like, ugh, why? Why does this taste so much like it? Or like, yeah, I've had an instance where I accidentally ate chicken thinking it was mushroom because someone mistaken the food. So I was like, well, shit. Whatever spirit has for you, I like it. Let's do it. I just heard what next for you. Seems as though, Mr. Tom, you are at this point. Perhaps maybe it's a brink of change. Perhaps maybe you are now I'm sensing you want more. There's something that you're like, all right, this was great. We're going to maximize on opportunities. What's that about? I got pulled to the True Black Tarot for you, which, by the way, rarely comes out in readings, especially not public ones. But it's one that actually really connects with highly divine entities, if you will. You could, or rather, ought to research, if not already. There's some Egyptian-based deities that are calling out to you that have been of interest to you. You may have already been working with one or two, but definitely tap into their energy a lot more, because they're going to help you with this next step. I have the Hermit card, the Queen of Swords. Seven of Swords. Ooh. There is a female in your life, or this person could just hold a lot of female traits and energies, but they could be in a male body, for example. I just heard, nope, it's a woman. Okay. Thanks for correcting me. Okay. Tough love. Yeah. Fucking give it. Okay. Sometimes you don't really know what it is. No, you do know what it is that you want to say to this person. But sometimes you don't know how to, because you know that your words are going to cut them just as much as they cut yourself, just even spewing them out. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm getting for you here is that you have already thought long and hard about this requirement, okay? It's difficult because I'm trying to tap into who it is that this is. It could be like an ex, or like an ex-friend, someone that you kind of want to make an ex, right? And an ex is just like a past experience, right? And the thing is, though, is there seems to be like a return of a karmic lesson that you're sitting here going like, wait, hold on. I've done this before. I have, and you're sitting here going like, no. But then now I'm hearing the song, could you let me down slowly. I don't know that song. Let me down slowly. Whoop. The conversation about boundaries and all of that shit, like that, it's a real one. If you got to tell someone that shit ain't working out, or I'm not interested, just say it. Okay, honestly, like sometimes like the overbearing, like sweet talk and let me just like cradle you into a rejection is actually worse. Like, yeah, it might hurt them more because like it flabbergasted at your honesty. But I am sensing like a rejection that needs to take place because you're honoring yourself. They're not reflecting an aspect of you that is you basically want to move away further, like you want distance. Here's why I'm saying this. So we have I'm going to cover this part of her just in case daddy YouTube don't like it. But we have the Queen of Swords out here, and if you could take a look at these swords, right? One is not going through her hand, but the other one is, right? So kind of like what I was saying at the very beginning, it's like the words that you were choosing to help this person, it's your ex-wife. That makes sense. Boundaries, okay? Because we also have the Seven of Swords here too, right? It's like you're seeing beyond the veil. Let me throw this back up here because it seems like it's needed. You've seen beyond the veil. You've been cut and sliced psychologically already enough. I'm not sensing any words hurt. Let's just put it in that perspective. Okay. Yeah. And the thing is, though, is like now you're there's some difficulty getting some words out and demanding space where it is that you've already known you have to move away from, right? Like we're going from the 7 of Swords to the 6 of Swords. We're taking a step back. We are literally getting on our, it's hard to see these cards on this particular webcam because they're so matted. But there's little boats here in the fog, right? Like we are, I mean, you already know tarot. So you kind of just got to get on that boat and go. And what I do want to say is once you do that, because there might be some money qualms or something, when you choose to step back, okay, you will actually be graced with more money. Interesting how that goes. When we remove somebody from our energy, we actually align with what is more aligned. In your case, it is more, I want to say, like financial abundance, okay? Because the relationship and the conversations and the lack of perhaps maybe overall dismissal, the confused line of boundaries, for example, that are now likely required for you to uphold, if not like fiercely enforce, as difficult as it may be. All love to her, by the way. I'm never one of these people that are like, your ex ain't shit. Okay, no, I can't say that honestly. Sorry. Sometimes that is the case when, you know, things get really. Anyways, not your case. Point is, though, is right now there seems to be like a lack of ability to transform, to actually obtain financially what it is that you've been really working hard for. And sometimes like people kind of anchor us in a certain type of vibration that require us to cut the cord from so that we can rise. Okay. Because we also have the King of Coins here at the bottom of the deck here, that it's like you have a vision for yourself. You've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of healing on yourself here as well. Okay. And there's no more sugarcoating. Okay. Sometimes when something is done, it is done. Done, 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 done. So all power to you, all blessings to her too. I genuinely just think that this is nothing but like a runaround. It's like a hamster wheel. Like, how many times are we going to go through this? I can see you're just like, and it sucks because I'm also getting like this, it could have been an old limiting belief of yours, because I think that you've already broke out of it for the most part, but like that feeling as though you could just never do anything right. Like nothing I say or do is just good enough. Like there's always a fucking problem. Like, yikes, these are the kind of things that are coming up right now. And just in respect to this being also a public reading, I'm going to let that be that. But listen, go get the abundance that you are rightfully aligned to right now. And unfortunately, I don't believe that all exes remain exes, okay? In your case, though, I believe that that's already something that you have decided, but it hasn't been fully. I don't know. There's still a little tiny thread that's attached. Time to cut it. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a girl on YouTube, so I just work here. Hopefully that helped offer some clarity and some like gusto to do your thing. I don't know why gusto. What is gusto? I hope that helped, Tom. And thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Yeah, look. Oh my God. Another sword card. The 9 of Swords. And it is piercing through this rabbit. It's honestly, it's not even going to be as bad as it may seem or perceive to be, right? Because this is not even blood. They're flower petals. Perhaps maybe it's a little bit hard to see. It's a loop. Yeah, well, I don't know how long you've been here. It seems like you've been here from almost the beginning, right? So when I was going on like my little overview tangent and stuff. Karma, repeated pattern unless and until we show up with changed behavior, and thus we break the loop. Change behavior, enforce it. I know, easier said than done, but you got it, man. You got it. You've done too much work on yourself and everything to do it again, okay? Unless she's coming with you with change behavior, but you already know. You already know. It's not, you can see through the facade. You see through it. Ain't no bullshit in you. And look at that. As I was shuffling to put my deck away, we have the Ace of Coins. Go get that money. Go get your worth. I hope that helped. It's a pleasure. You're welcome. Something you needed to hear. God bless you right back. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will take the blessings. I need the blessings too. I will take the blessings. We all need blessings. Bless everybody. Everybody's blessed. Yeah, honestly, oh my God, it was 55:11 when I looked at the timer here. I think that's it, Soul Fam. So I don't know, maybe the next Sunday I'm gonna try this out at like a different time, because it seems like some people who said that were able to make it just aren't, which is okay. Hey, these conversations were meant to happen in one form or a fashion. But I'm gonna let this be for this week, guys. I think it was lovely. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you for also wanting to hear a little bit more about my opinion on shit and getting to know me a little bit more too. That's really nice. Thank you guys. So yeah, without further ado, if you guys want to ever book with me, one-on-one, more in-depth shit, knmwitchery.com. Everything is listed in the description box below. I also do intuitive therapy, okay? Intuitive because I can read your mind and walk you through some shit. So yeah, I am board certified in things like hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, CBT. So yeah, I'm happy to work with anyone if you guys need some more in-depth kind of help to push you through some more difficult things in life that are beyond, anything that we can discuss, especially on a live. So just know that you guys have help. There's applications to be filled out because I do not accept everyone to work with me. Okay. I am picky with my peoples with love, because I want to make sure that I'm in fact the right person for you too. Okay. So that's just the fact around that. But nevertheless, guys, you know how to reach me if you want me. Tune in to more videos and shit. There's going to be a fun pick a card coming up. I'm not going to share what it is just yet because I already know some people are going to be like, meh about it. I don't care. It's my channel. I do what I want. So yeah, tune in. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me, guys. These freaking conclusions, I never know what to say, and I feel like I just go around in circles. So I'm just going to shut up and say I love you guys and have a beautiful rest of your day. Okay, bye.